Hello, my name is Mark Willis. I'm the Associate Chair of Quality Improvement in the Department of Radiology at Stanford University. Welcome to Radiology Teaches. First, I'd like to share with you why Radiology Teaches was created. The cost of healthcare in the United States has been well documented. In 2018, it was estimated that $3.6 trillion was spent on healthcare, which accounted for 18% of the GDP. The trend of spending in the United States has far exceeded other countries since the 1980s. The reason for this is multifactorial. However, one key recognized component is waste. It has been estimated that 20 to 40% of healthcare spending in the U.S. is wasteful. Specific to imaging, a 2019 article in JAMA stated that 30% or more of imaging examinations may be unnecessary and cost an approximately $30 billion annually. Despite the amount of spending on healthcare in the United States, many healthcare outcome metrics are lagging other countries that are spending less. One widely accepted framework to restructure healthcare has been proposed by Michael Porter from the Harvard Business School. This framework is based upon the value equation, which states that healthcare value from a patient's perspective equals healthcare outcomes, which includes patient experience, divided by cost. The American College of Radiology has recognized this developing value gap for years. Nearly 30 years ago, the ACR launched a task force to help address the issue of unnecessary and inappropriate imaging. This effort resulted in the development of the appropriateness criteria, which is the result of the continuous collaborative work of over 40 medical societies and 170 physicians. Expert panels define appropriateness based upon the RAND-UCLA appropriateness method. These evidence-based reviews are performed annually, and the current strength of evidence is summarized for a recommendation. This is an example of that work. The appropriateness recommendations are then rated and placed into one of three categories: usually appropriate, maybe appropriate, or usually not appropriate. These categories are color-coded green, yellow, and red in this table. Separately, the relative radiation dose exposure for the patient during each examination is considered. It does not impact the appropriateness scoring, but should be considered when assessing the risk-benefit ratio of an examination. The product of all of this work is displayed in the AC table. This is an example template. These tables have been freely available online for years, and updates are published twice per year in the Journal of the American College of Radiology. I should also point out that patient-friendly summaries of these tables also began to be published in the journal in 2018. This evidence-based information is great, but significant challenge can be consumability. In the middle of a busy clinic, it can be impossible for a medical provider to stop what they are doing, go online, and find the correct AC table relevant to the patient they are seeing. Recognizing this barrier, the ACR began partnering with the National Decision Support Company in 2013, the goal being a digitally consumable version of the appropriateness criteria. This resource is called ACR Select. ACR Select can be integrated with many electronic health records to provide point-of-order entry clinical decision support. This is an example of the integration at the point of order entry in one leading electronic health record. I should highlight one important driver of clinical decision support adoption. In 2014, the Protecting Access to Medicare Act, or PAMA, was passed to encourage the use of clinical decision support for ordering of advanced diagnostic imaging. This includes CT, MRI, nuclear medicine, and PET-CT examinations. CMS has implemented 2020 as an educational and operations testing period with no financial risk. However, starting in 2021, clinical decision support consultation and reporting is required, or Medicare reimbursement for advanced imaging examinations will be negatively impacted. In 2013, I saw all of these initiatives developing. This gave me an idea. Efforts to provide clinical decision support at the point of order entry were great, but to have a meaningful impact at the magnitude needed, I believed we could not just work downstream. We needed to attack this issue in different ways on multiple fronts. It didn't make sense to wait until a student had graduated, completed an internship, residency, or even perhaps a fellowship, and then we say, here's clinical decision support. Use it to request the most appropriate examinations for our patients. Our team embraced the idea of going upstream to educate physicians and advanced practice providers differently, no longer relying on teaching approaches being utilized for years, and in some cases over 100 years. We believe lectures in large auditoriums or an apprenticeship style of see one, do one, teach one was not going to get the job done. Our team has a shared vision to provide evidence-based medicine and exposure to clinical decision support in a low-stakes learning environment using simulation with immediate feedback, helping students to learn it right the first time, and provide a flexible learning environment that allows self-paced and self-directed learning. This led to a collaboration between the American College of Radiology, National Decision Support Company, and my former institution, Baylor College of Medicine. I'll share with you a demonstration. This is the portal. Case vignettes were authored and the platform was integrated via API with the clinical decision support resource ACR Select. While considering the case vignette, a student can get real-time clinical decision support as they are considering the most appropriate examination to request for the patient. The feedback provides the appropriateness score, when needed, the appropriate way to request intravenous contrast, the relative cost of the examination based upon CMS data, and the relative radiation exposure to the patient. The platform also allows us to provide supplemental links to relevant resources, such as the corresponding AC table, or even patient-facing resources like radiologyinfo.org, a website containing a wealth of information about imaging examinations, how to prepare for the examination, what to expect during the examination, and other answers to frequently asked questions by patients. We piloted the portal with second-year medical students transitioning to their clinical clerkships and subsequently published the results in academic radiology. I will highlight that all of our students found value in the activity and the majority found it very valuable or extremely valuable. Based upon this proof of concept, we received a grant from the Radiological Society of North America to work with the clerkship directors from our 7 core required clinical clerkships to integrate these modules into the curriculum. These modules are freely available to all program users. Our efforts are interprofessional. In this study, we partnered with our PA program to offer a module to their students. We saw similar results and received similar positive feedback. Next, we needed to ensure success of this program was transferable to other institutions. We partnered with 8 medical schools from around the country in a multi-institutional study. We assessed the experience of nearly 200 students using the portal and again found similar encouraging results. This figure highlights some of the students' greatest areas of improvement in the ability to appropriately request chest x-rays in the preoperative environment and imaging follow-up for adnexal cyst. The full results of this work have been published and are available in the May 2020 Journal of the American College of Radiology. I've shared with you the history of Radiology-TEACHES and some of our studies, but please don't just take my word regarding the potential of the program to be an agent for change. In 2017, the program was recognized by Cost of Care, the ABIM Foundation, and their partners through their Creating Value Challenge as a teaching value innovator. The development of Radiology-TEACHES has been a journey. I must thank the entire Radiology-TEACHES team for their enduring contributions to make this all possible. We hope the program is valuable in your education, and we dream that it helps you in your own journey to provide the highest value care possible to patients throughout your entire career. Evidence-based medicine and high-value healthcare require team-based, collaborative care. That would not be just nice for us to provide. They are goals we must all consistently strive to provide for the good of our patients and for the good of our society as a whole. Thank you for your time and your attention.